You've had a thought so disturbing you immediately checked yourself. Why would I think that? It came out of nowhere. Dark, shocking, taboo, unthinkable, completely against who you are. And the worst part? It didn't feel random. It felt like it meant something. If that just hit you, this is for you. This is no off switch. We don't fix you, we explain you. Here's what's actually happening in your brain. Your brain's threat detector doesn't just scan the outside world, it scans you, your thoughts, your impulses, your identity. And when it finds something that looks dangerous, it throws it into your awareness like a fire alarm. The thought feels intrusive, unwanted, and shocking, but the mechanism behind it is protection. Your brain isn't trying to reveal your secret darkness, it's trying to prevent it. Let's break this down. Your brain runs simulations all day. Usually it predicts social outcomes, rejection, embarrassment, failure. But sometimes it runs moral simulations. What if I lost control? What if I crossed the line? What if I said something unforgivable? These aren't desires, they're threat rehearsals. Your brain is asking, could this happen? The same way it asks, what if I trip in front of everyone? The difference is emotional weight. When the simulation involves something deeply wrong or taboo, your emotional alarm system lights up, hard. And now the thought feels significant, important, suspicious. But here's the quiet truth. Your brain only flags things that matter to you. If you didn't care about being a good person, the thought wouldn't scare you. You're not broken. Your brain is overprotective. Now let's talk about the part that makes it worse. You try not to think about it, and your brain goes, oh, this must be important. There's a simple mechanism here. When you tell your brain, don't think about that, it has to briefly think about it to check whether you're thinking about it, so it brings it back. The harder you push the thought away, the stronger it sticks. This isn't weakness, it's how attention works. Your brain tracks threats by keeping them visible, so suppression, trying to force it out, actually keeps it alive. That's why the thought comes back at 1:13 a.m. when everything is quiet. Your brain thinks it's still protecting you. Here's where it gets personal. The reason intrusive thoughts feel terrifying isn't the content, it's what they imply. You don't fear the image, you fear what it says about you. Good people don't think this. That sentence runs underneath everything, so your brain moves from weird thought to identity crisis in seconds. Now you're not just disturbed, you're analyzing yourself, monitoring every reaction, checking if you secretly enjoyed it, checking if you hesitated too long. Your brain's supervisor mode, the part that monitors your behavior, goes into overdrive. It's scanning for corruption, and the more you scan, the more material it finds. Not because you're dangerous, because attention magnifies whatever it touches. Uncomfortable truth. The more you need certainty about being good, the more your brain will test it. It doesn't trust unchecked assumptions. Your brain is a meaning-making machine. Random thoughts happen constantly, most pass through unnoticed. But if one triggers emotion, your brain assumes it's meaningful. Emotion equals importance. So now you start analyzing. Why that image? Why now? Is this repressed? Is this who I really am? You're not reacting to the thought. You're reacting to the feeling it created. And your brain hates unexplained feelings, so it builds stories. The thought feels sticky because you're trying to decode it, but many intrusive thoughts are mental noise, static. Your brain firing creatively without supervision, not prophecy, not confession, just activity. Relief line. A thought appearing in your head is not evidence of intention, it's evidence that you have a brain. Some brains scan more aggressively, not just for physical danger, for social danger, moral danger, relational danger. You don't just worry about car accidents, you worry about being secretly flawed. So your threat detection mode expands inward. It asks, what if I'm not who I think I am? That question feels deep, but it's often just anxiety wearing philosophical clothes. You don't have dark hidden impulses, you have a brain that double-checks everything. And when your system runs hot, stressed, tired, overstimulated, the filter that usually lets thoughts pass quietly gets looser. More raw material floats up, more random images, more what-if scenarios. And because you're already scanning, you catch them. Most people have intrusive thoughts, they just don't analyze them. You do. That's the difference. Here's the part people don't say out loud. Sometimes the thought feels vivid, almost sensory, and you panic because it felt too real. So you replay it, trying to measure your reaction, trying to prove you hated it enough. But replaying strengthens the memory. Each replay adds detail. Each detail makes it feel more intentional, and now it feels like evidence. It's not. It's rehearsal. Your brain strengthens whatever you review. That includes things you fear. Second uncomfortable truth. If you keep interrogating your thoughts like suspects, your brain will keep producing suspects. Not because you're guilty, because your mind thinks this is its job now. This one hits hardest. Intrusive thoughts often attack what you value most: your partner, your child, your faith, your morality, your identity. That's not coincidence. Your brain protects what matters, so it stress tests it. The more precious something is, the more your brain asks, could I ruin this? It feels cruel, but it's protective instinct misfiring. You're not secretly dangerous, you're deeply attached. There's a difference. Now let's talk about what no one says. When you live like this, it's exhausting. You look calm on the outside. Inside, you're running background checks on your own mind. You hesitate before speaking. You analyze your tone. You monitor your facial expressions. You distance yourself slightly from people you love, not because you don't care, but because your brain whispers, what if you're unsafe? And that quiet distance adds up. If your clearest thinking only happens when you're alone, your relationships never see your real mind. That's the cost. Not because you're broken, but because constant self-monitoring consumes energy. Mental exhaustion starts to feel like personality. Depth starts to feel like isolation, and you begin to trust your fear more than your character. Identity reframe. You don't have a dark mind. You have a threat detection system that never clocks out. Mind reading sentence. You've had a moment where you pulled away from someone you love, not because you wanted to, but because your brain flashed a what-if that felt too disturbing to ignore. Rewatch trigger. When your brain mistakes imagination for intention, every random thought feels like a confession instead of background noise. So here's the question. When an unwanted thought shows up, do you treat it like evidence or like static? Subscribe to No Off Switch, psychology for brains that won't shut off.